You are listening to Waywut? This is a weekly rabbit hole podcast that goes into a variety of topics ranging from the supernatural to sports to science or anything else that we find interesting. We post episodes every Tuesday. We post on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and Pandora. Please follow us on any of those. If you prefer video, you can always subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you want to talk to us or keep up with any random information we decide to talk about, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, X, whatever it's called, under @Waywut Podcast. That does it for all the self-promotion stuff. Thank you for listening, and here we go. Hello, and welcome to Waywut. My name is Darrell Holiday. I'll be taking control of today's topic wrangling, and I'm here with the man that Nicolas Cage accused of overacting, Jason.
Me never. I love Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, but he would think you're an overactor. That's how bad you are at it.
Oh yeah, I'm not very good at it at all.
I know, you've acted for me twice.
And you got mad at me, and then you brought out the best in me.
Well, that's what it takes. It's all about what being a director's all about. All right. So today, I'm trying to go from like heavy to light and fluffy, heavy to light and fluffy. So I'm a bit on the fluffy side today, but I'm going to start a little heavy because I have this disappointment weighing me down. So I have my disappointed man rant today.
Okay.
So occasionally, and mostly because I just happen to be around when someone else has control of the remote, or I'm at somebody else's house or whatever the case may be, but I'm in a position where I end up watching Pawn Stars, Storage Wars, or Antique Roadshow.
Mm-hmm. Very popular shows.
And every time I walk away saying, why is none of my random crap worth anything? I have comic books. I have baseball cards, old toys. I have old magazines. I have all sorts of cool old
swords.
And sometimes I look at how much some of them are worth, and plenty are worth more than they were whenever I got them, but nothing that I could ever sell to, pay a bill.
Thousands. Yeah.
It's like, oh gosh, phone bill got insane or got a car repair thing that I got to deal with. I'll just sell these baseball cards.
The Civil War relic I'm just holding on to.
I've got Civil War relics that I'm holding on to.
They could be worth money.
Nothing I have really seems worth anything. But these TV jerks will find some random box that they've been keeping in, their tweezers and loose change in, and find out it's worth like $1,000.
Yeah,
it's just some random box that they just toss their crap in. It's like their junk drawer, but not their junk drawer. And I'm not completely stupid. I know that some of that stuff is absolute just BS. It's just crap. There's nothing real about it. Like the storage shows, they're really bad about this.
Oh yeah, those are definitely planted.
Yeah, these guys go into the storage unit that they win in the auction, and they just start pointing at random crap, going, "Oh, that's going to be like $50, and this is going to be $100. This is $75." And they find some 200-year-old tricycle and act like their random shit sense is just tingling, and they have, they have a guy, they run off and have some guy tell them what it's worth.
Appraise it, and they just happen to have a toy expert on hand or a...
Well, they take it to some expert, and he looks at it, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, this is a Guggenheim Schmeckelhauser tricycle that was made right before World War II broke out." And so like there's only like three of them. Yeah, yep. But
that show had me hooked though.
Yeah, but first of all, the random crap that they point at and start saying how much they could get for it, it's not accurate. I was watching one dude, and he finds like all these DVDs. He's like, "Oh, I can get $5 a piece for these." What idiot would pay $5 for used DVDs when you can go to get new ones at Walmart for $5?
Right. Yeah, I never understood how they counted up all their money and said they made 2,000 off this when they haven't sold not
Yeah.
one article out of that thing yet, not one
And,
DVD, nothing.
and nobody's going to buy some 15-year-old fan that's yellow that used to be white and pay $20 for it.
Right.
That's not going to happen.
Still got the sharp blades on it and just slice your finger right off.
Well, and then back to the old ass tricycle or the weird looking lamp or whatever the producer planted in that unit. Uh, the random shit specialist that they get, it's always like, oh yeah, no, I can totally restore this. I mean, you could sell it as is for like 2,000, but once I restore it and bring it back to its present glory, like because that's what he does is just goes around cleaning up old tricycles. It'd be like worth $5,000 or 10,000. I would love for for once, couldn't somebody just bring in like a solid gold monkey they find in a storage unit,
Yeah.
and then the specialist
A
be like,
gold
"Oh,
chalice.
this is a Monchichi doll from the 1980s that somebody spray painted gold. It's not worth shit."
Yeah. A
They'll
fake.
be like, if I get the right buyer, maybe we'll be able to get 30 cents and a broken rubber band for it. Something along those lines. I want to see the formula be broken. It's always so formulaic. The only fails they ever do is when they win the auction and it turns out to
Be
be
a
a normal
bust.
storage unit with just crap that would
Newspapers.
be
Yeah.
just crap that would be inside of a storage unit. And it's so rare when they do that. I want them to be all like, "Oh no, look, I can't tell what's under there. It could be a pool table," and they like lift it up, and it's just like, like you said, stacks of newspapers, or just like, some dude that like collected all his feces in pickle jars for 40 years or something.
Well, speaking of collecting things, and we both have this collection, would you, what would you say if you saw the stack of Playboys? Did you still refer to them as your currency for future use?
Dude, I do not want to talk about this in public because I don't want anybody.
Secrets out.
I don't want anybody stealing my idea. That's my plan for the future in case of an apocalypse where there is no internet. Uh,
They will be needed.
yeah, no, I still keep those, and they're safe and secure. And come the apocalypse, I am prepared. I will be the
You'll be
richest.
rich. You'll be one
I
of the
will.
richest out there.
Yes. I will have just tons and tons of people just doing whatever I beckon them. I'll be like the mob boss of the apocalypse.
It's like ramen noodles in prison.
Uh-huh. I thought you were going to talk about the 1992 Topps baseball full collection because like mine is literally right over here.
Oh, yeah, I got one. All those '90s baseball cards aren't worth crap anymore.
No, but they were worth more back then.
Yeah, I mean they were produced millions of them, and everybody bought them, and saturated the market and
Yeah.
diminished
No.
their value.
So the other shows that I mentioned, they're just as bad with setting things up. They find, they'll look ahead, they'll find somebody wanting to sell something valuable on like Craigslist or whatever. I don't know where they look. And they're like, "Hey, come in here and let somebody talk to you about your Victoria era enema nozzle on our show for money." You know, and then you get somebody, and then you get to watch somebody that pretends like they have no idea how much their great grandma's sterling silver enema nozzle is worth, and the TV guys start spitting out the history of enema nozzles, and like they just know that off the top of their head, and they didn't
Yeah,
like have
that's
to
their
like
specialty.
yeah, it's like, oh no, I got my doctorate in enema history,
They have a store like that
you know
mortuary store we talked about in the previous podcast.
no, I got my doctorate in pre-industrial era enemas. Like whatever.
Has their
I just,
bachelor's degree written on it.
but no, I would love somebody to be like me, is show up with their 1992 Topps Frank Thomas #1 draft pick card, which was worth $5 when it
Which is
first
a
came
lot.
out,
That's the whole reason you bought that set was for
yeah,
that one card.
and I want them to get to face the disappointment that it is worth the same thing that it was worth in 1996. You know, This card is in excellent condition. Blah, blah, blah. Random facts about tops. Little known facts about baseball. And your card is still worth $5.
And I will give you $2 for it.
And well, I mean, $5 ain't what $5 used to do. I mean, like, so 1992 Darrell wanted future Darrell to hit the jackpot on those cards. I mean,
Yes, there's a
when
reason why
Magic,
you still have them.
yeah, when Magic Johnson announced that he got HIV, I started buying basketball cards left and right to get his, because back then HIV meant you were going to die.
Not
But
him.
apparently, he really is Magic, because that dude had enough fans where they pretty much cured HIV for him. So my cards ain't worth shit now.
Yeah,
That's
thanks a lot.
so selfish.
Yeah, you get AIDS and you don't die.
Yeah,
Selfish.
no. He got
Don't you
HIV.
know we have a starting lineup of him waiting to get really, really lots of money, and it's not because he's still
No,
commentating about basketball.
No, he's fine. I mean, like he's one of those people. He's like at undetectable levels, so now he can still
Whatever
apparently
that means. Did he
that
step up?
that means
Prep
that.
up?
I mean, allegedly, according to like the various pharmaceutical commercials that just get crammed in my face constantly, apparently when it's at undetectable levels, you're a little bit safer to go out and bang people, and which I'm sorry, but I
Intruder
mean,
or whatever it is.
I don't know. I
Step up
just
and
know
prep
that
up.
in my swinging single days, if a girl said, I just want you to know I'm HIV positive, but I'm at not detectable levels right now, I'd be like, oh, that's so great. We should be friends. I will be your friend. I will hold your hand while you go find somebody that is perfectly okay with that, because it is not me.
I
Because
don't know
I,
what that
I
means.
don't have Magic Johnson money to just make sure that that
It
HIV
goes
doesn't.
away.
Yeah, I'd end up looking like Tom Hanks from Philadelphia by the end of it, and I ain't about that life. All right, so enough about how my crap isn't worth crap. Let's talk about treasure.
Okay.
So, whenever I was a kid, my cousin Marcus and I used to dig holes all over my grandparents' property with the hopes of finding buried treasure. I mean, they had like 6 acres out in the country, and we would just dig random assholes all over the place, not with, maps or nothing. And we would go explore old abandoned houses and barns throughout our little small Texas town, hoping that we, find a secret stash left behind by like Bonnie and Clyde, because that was the big thing. It's like, maybe they stashed some of their old cash somewhere.
Yeah. You never know until you dig that hole.
Yeah. Or whenever you go trouncing through some vacant house, which we did on numerous occasions.
Yeah.
But that was the dream. And if I had the internet instead of just blind hope, then I would have known that there are actual treasures in the U.S. that could still be potentially found.
In the U.S.?
Yeah. So first, we are going to start with what I refer to as the Zodiac Killer of the treasure hunts. It's not a Zodiac Killer treasure. It's just what I refer to as the Zodiac Killer of treasure hunts. Back in the 1800s, there was an explorer, kind of an odd title, considering there wasn't really much left to explore in the 1800s other than like Antarctica and the ocean floor and stuff like that. I think they're just trying to make it sound like a good way of saying that he's a vagabond or bum. I'm
Someone
an
who moves around a lot.
explorer. I wander around aimlessly without a steady job. I'm an explorer. No, that's
I'm the Jack Reacher.
But he is said to have discovered gold, silver, and jewels while on a hunting trip near the Colorado-New Mexico border. Yeah. And he didn't leave it there. He dug it all up, and he brought his haul all the way to Virginia, and he buried it there. Why did he bury it? Because then you get to do a treasure map, or in his case, treasure ciphers.
Oh.
Yeah, that's where the Zodiac Killer part comes in. He created 3 cryptograms consisting of hundreds of numbers to reveal the location and contents to his next of kin. And all that was made public back in 1885. 200 years later, only one of those have been deciphered.
Wow.
Yeah. For
How did
grit,
they decipher it? Does it say?
more than I
Like,
don't know,
what was
some
the
person
code?
that's really good at it. I mean, because you have to test things out. So for like cryptograms, you have to have a key. And the one that was solved, they figured out that the key was the Declaration of Independence.
Oh, so it is like the movie Natural Treasure.
Yeah, but you have to figure out what the key is. I mean, you could like put it into an AI, but I guess you can have an AI look over every conceivable published document, but whatever. With the information that they were able to get from just the one they deciphered, they were able to determine that it's 4 miles outside of Beaufort, Virginia. So we got it narrowed down a little bit more.
Okay.
In the hopes of uncovering a treasure estimated to be around $60 million in today's dollars, people still work very hard to find the keys to the remaining two ciphers. So if you want a shot at it, you just hop on Google and you look up Beale Ciphers, Beale. And I'm not going to tell you how to spell ciphers. We live in a world of autocorrect. So, I mean, there is a potential treasure out there, and I think that's so cool. If it was in, like driving distance, well, whenever I say driving distance, I mean like, I only had to drive 20 minutes. I would totally just be metal detector. I would go find that dude's gold and be rich and rule a small town with an iron fist. Anyways,
And just buy a small town.
exactly. Uh, Jesse James. We're going to move on to another one. Jesse James and his gang robbed a Mexican gold transport in 1876. Now, these are always a little bit more fun for me. Some dude that just says he like dug up all the fancy crap in the whole world out of one spot. I'm a little iffy on it. Even if
Yeah.
you decipher everything, you open it up, and he's like, haha, wasn't that fun? The adventure is the treasure. And I'll be like, fuck you. And I dig up his
Yeah.
bones and scatter them. But these, whenever it's like, some old outlaws stole something, even when I was a kid, that's where I was like, okay, yeah, sometimes they have to ditch their stuff. So you got Jesse James and his gang robbing a gold transport in 1876. They fled across Texas and into Oklahoma, where they were snowed in at the Wichita Mountains. Wanting to hide the evidence, they ditched their gold somewhere in the Keechi Hills and they fled. Frank James, Jesse's brother, went back there around 30 years later, so like 1906, and he actually recovered some of it,
Oh,
but
wow.
but definitely not all of it. Various maps made their way through the James gang's descendants, some hidden in teapots and at the false bottom and side of chests, reference various landmarks. So they, wasn't like they're, putting it on their wall. Oh, here's a treasure map that Grandpa Jesse left behind.
Yeah, they ain't telling
They
nobody.
they hid that stuff and it got uncovered. So did any of these maps do any good? A Dutch oven was found filled with gold. A brass pot was found full of jewelry in
Mm.
those hills. So if you feel like chasing history and treasure, then you could do like many others and search Keechi Hills in Oklahoma for buried treasure.
Keechi?
Keechi, Keechi. Yeah, I know. This is whenever I was researching this, I kept sitting there, huh? What am I doing this weekend? How
What
much is it
is,
worth going?
do they know what's missing from the treasure? Like, he says
No,
he,
they
it's
just
just,
know that they're just. It's said that not all of it has been recovered yet. Some of it has, but not all of it.
it's just gold, like gold pieces? Or,
Yeah,
okay.
and
I
well,
just,
just
what are
random
we
crap
looking
that they
for here?
sold. One of them had jewelry because they also robbed the people on the train. But wait, there's more. For the less casual treasure hunter that thinks more danger should be involved, there's the old Spanish treasure cave for all you Nicolas Cage and Indiana Jones wannabes. A cave located near Sulphur Springs, Arkansas, not our
Oh,
Sulphur Springs one in Arkansas. So, you don't get to go hang out at your grandparents' place and go look for this. It is alleged to hold treasures hidden by conquistadors in the 1600s. So, those really lovely Spanish people that came here and coughed all over the natives at the time and got them all smallpox, and you know met some of the ladies and introduced them to syphilis. Those people, but the ones that, had they not done that, I wouldn't be here right now. So I'm not that upset about it. It's a little sad, but I'm okay. It is believed that they hid $40 million in gold in a cave that was then sealed before they were killed by a non-disclosed tribe of Native Americans. So, they got back at them, obviously.
yeah, non-disclosed.
Non-disclosed, but it was rediscovered and unsealed by an old Spaniard in 1885. You don't get to use the word Spaniard enough, in my opinion.
It's a good word. It's the word they use in Gladiator.
So, I mean, all that sounds a little dicey, a little iffy, but within that area, things have been located such as conquistador helmets, armors, and weapons, but no gold yet. So as of today, the hunt still goes on because that cave has yet to still be fully explored.
Caves are freaky.
Yeah, I've watched enough cave horror stuff, where people like get trapped in there and die, and
Yeah,
people.
have to.
I have no desire to do. Like if I can't, if I can't just like hunch over a little bit to get through the walkway, it's too small. I'm definitely not going to do that belly crawl thing. Oh
Oh
my
no,
god!
that's
Anytime I see somebody do that,
yeah, I've seen one where it's like a 6-inch gap and it's small and they're just
yeah,
scraping through. And how
yeah,
do you keep calm?
I don't know.
That's pretty scary stuff.
But that's just us. But for the people who want to make their way onto some YouTube list about people that found treasure, or a different list about people that die in caves, then you can always head to Sulphur Springs, Arkansas, and go find that cave. And with some luck, you either get some money, or you have bad luck and you end up dead.
Hope that's not the case, but good
Yeah,
luck.
yeah. I don't endorse either choice, because I don't know if it's on anybody's private property either.
We just want a finder's fee.
No, I don't even want that. Keep me out of it, because what if they get shot with a shotgun by some old coot? It's like, this is my property. All right, off to the next one. Next, we have the Mosby Treasure. I think it's that, or it's Mosby. I guess it might be Mosby. Mosby Treasure, Mosby. It is $350,000 in Civil War dollars, that is.
Oh, about to say that's not very much for a treasure.
Nope. Of plunder that a Confederate soldier and his troops hid after raiding the Union.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. In 1863, John Singleton Mosby and his raiders went 10 miles into the Union and captured 40 Union soldiers without firing a single shot.
Wow.
Which, yeah, I was like, wow. It is said they stole gold, silver, jewelry, candlesticks, and various heirlooms that the Union Army had taken from southern plantations. Because
Just
the
taking it
Union
back.
did their fair share of raiding too. It is said, because so much of this is like, it is said, legend has it,
Yep.
that he got word that some Union soldiers were nearby. So they buried the loot in a burlap sack between two pine trees that he carved X's in. So that was 100 years ago. Those things still, like over 100 years ago, those things still stand. That X is probably pretty high up in the air by now.
I would think so, yeah.
Yeah. He later sent 7 of his men there to pick the loot up, but they were all captured and executed. Dun 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 dun.
You ain't getting that loot back.
Yeah. But allegedly, on his deathbed, he said, somewhere between Norman and Culpeper, Virginia, there's some valuable stuff that he just wish he'd picked up. So at this point, the idea of wandering around Virginia with a metal detector is becomes more and more appealing to me.
Why can't they just leave a note like Andy Dufresne did in Shawshank Redemption and just tell us where the treasure is?
What would the fun in that be? I mean, he wanted Red to find that.
True, but
he wants people to jump through hoops.
they just want to be remembered.
Well, that 350,000 in Civil War dollars worth of stuff is now around a $6 million payday. Yeah. I mean, at this point, I'm really leaning on taking a vacation to Virginia. I don't know how close these places are to each other, but I just want to go to
Walk around
Virginia with a metal detector. Yeah.
Have you ever seen people on the beach do that?
Yeah. No, because people lose crap all the time. I mean, It's kind of like, I guarantee you all, carnies that, work the Super Loop and the Kamikaze and Zipper and stuff like that. No, the carnies, like that do the little traveling carnivals.
Oh,
I
I thought
bet
you meant the...
No, carnies. I bet you they supplement their income by going over all those rides that flip people and just collect change, or at least they
all
used
their cell
to.
phones.
Yeah, nowadays it's probably that, because back in the day it's changed. I mean, now between being a carny or a homeless person, you're screwed. I haven't seen it yet, but I keep expecting to see a homeless guy come up to me, but instead of like holding his hand out or his cup, and be like, "You want to sell me some money? Here's my cell phone number."
Yeah, here's all my Venmo info.
That was one of the things that always used to trip me out when I used to work in downtown, is whenever I'd see those homeless people and they're like, "Oh, my life's so hard." Swipe, 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 swipe.
Yep.
I'm texting my other homeless friends. Leave me alone. It's
they
like
hitting the beeper on their car over there to making sure it's locked.
I sure wish I could eat today, but Angry Birds is fun. Okay.
Check out my new shoes.
My Facebook status. I got to update it. So this is not exactly going to be a long episode, because I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up, but I'm going to wrap it up with one that's a little bit closer to home for me and you, Jason.
All right.
There was an outlaw back in the 1800s. His name was Sam Bass, and he was known for robbing trains and stagecoaches in 1877 to 1878. After robbing stagecoaches around Dallas, that's where we live, he went down to Round Rock, Texas, over by Austin, and got shot. While
Come to Texas, you get shot.
Yeah, he went down to Round Rock, Texas, and they were getting ready to rob a bank back down there, and he got shot. Now, though his career was short, it was very well known because he was very well known because one of his earliest jobs was a train robbery in Nebraska that got him and his gang $60,000 in gold and silver.
60,000.
It's
Did he have a cool gang name?
In 1877 and $1878. All right.
Did he have a cool gang name?
No, it's just Sam Bass Gang.
Oh.
Yeah, it wasn't like the Hole in the Wall Gang or nothing like that. Regulators. So shortly after he steals that 60,000 in gold off that train in Nebraska, he hauls butt down to Texas, where he begins operating in Texas. And many believe he never got a chance to spend all that money. So shortly after, his death, when he got plugged down down in Round Rock, rumors went throughout Texas about him burying the loot. It was rumored that he buried some in a cave in Big Blue Spring, Texas, east East Mountain near Mineral Wells is another spot. A valley in Palo Pinto County, and one a little closer to us, Cove Hollow in Denton, Texas. Yeah, I know you could, go up to WinStar Casino, but on your way, just stop and see if you can find some gold to gamble with
Of course,
before
they'll
you get
cash
there.
that into the cashier. Here you go. Here's some bouillons.
Sadly, there aren't any cool stories about people finding a little bit here and there, like with Jesse James. It also sucks that we don't have a specific city like the other ones. I mean, you're talking, Mineral Wells, which is,
They're big cities.
yeah, well, I don't know what
I haven't heard of that one, but
Big Blue Spring. I know Spring, Texas, but I never heard of Big Blue Spring, Texas. And then Palo Pinto County, it's a whole damn county.
and they're always getting bad weather. You always
Yeah,
hear it.
yeah. Palo
Tornado
Pinto, yeah, they're
warning,
always
Palo
covered in
Pinto County.
tornadoes.
Yeah,
Yeah. Uh, so, in all reality, the Jesse James, Oklahoma one isn't that far away. So, if Jason wants to buy his best friend a metal detector, then we can go wander around the Keechi Hills together. If you
that
want to
would be
do that.
cool.
Yeah. My birthday is coming up. So, buy me a metal detector and, we can go wander around. And I promise I'll share at least 15% with you.
I'll take it because we're going to find all of it. It's going to be perfectly tucked away where nobody's ever looked before.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, I just thought this one was interesting. I knew it wasn't going to be that in depth. There've been other modern treasure hunts, but one of them that's really famous, it was actually discovered. And it was like this writer guy that just like wrote this poem about where he hid this treasure, and then a bunch of people died trying to look for it, and he was like, oh shit, everybody stop looking for it, somebody found it, I just wanted you to enjoy nature.
What
And
about
then
the
there's
guy? I'm sorry, the guy who jumped out of the plane
DB
and
Cooper.
DB Cooper. Yeah, what about
Yeah, I
that one?
thought about putting that one in there, but they've already found some of it, and for the most part, nobody knows if he got away with it, got away and ran off with some of it or whatever. So that one's a little.
Yeah.
Mm,
What about the treasure in the Goonies? Did that one included?
no, that's not real. There was like some dude up in Michigan, and this one's going to be pretty vague because I've heard about it, but I didn't really want to do the research on it. But because it's not
Dedication.
around here, it's in Michigan. I mean,
Yeah, they don't count.
that's just too
They're way
far.
up there.
But I mean, apparently he had like a jewelry store or something, and like around COVID time or whatever, he didn't want to deal with like having to, keep the business open and running and all that. So he like sold what he could, and then he had like all this cash, and he just started like hiding stuff around, like burying it in various places, just so people would try to go find it or something. It was weird. I mean, you can Google it. It's just, it was one of those things. It's like, yeah, cool, but you have to go to Michigan, and I don't have a bulletproof vest. You know,
Yeah. Well, I have a question for you. These people that leave these treasures, do you
Mhm.
think they have a reason they don't tell anybody where it is other than wanting to still be famous after their deaths?
All right, you not that long ago read me some very weird wills.
Yes.
People on their way out do weird shit. Whether it's they want people to go on adventures or they want to flip the bird at everybody. It's, it's like I mean, the guy that with
Their
the
last laugh
ciphers,
almost.
the guy with the ciphers is probably like, hey, my family needs to work together if they want to get this, and they're all like, no, or that, or
Yeah.
he's like, hey, all my kids are idiots and my grandkids are idiots until someone that's part of my lineage has more than 3 brain cells, nobody's getting this, whatever the case may be. So.
Right.
Hmm.
I don't know.
All right. Well,
That's a good one.
I believe this will do it. To those of you with the inclination and the free time, happy treasure hunting. And for the rest of us, we'll just keep buying lottery tickets.
Yeah. Or keep going in Colorado and pay the $10 and pan for gold in the river and
I
never
never did
find
that.
any. No. Just little sparkles.
Well, until Jason finds that hoard of gold he's obviously trying to mine
It's
for
there, right there in the
in
purple
them thar
boxes.
hills. There's gold in them thar hills. Join us next time, and as long as he's not striking it rich, I'm
You
sure
never
he'll
know.
take. Maybe if he is, even if he's rich, he'll just take the time to tell us about some
Yeah,
things
I'm
that'll.
doing this because I love it. It's not because we're making money off of it.
All right, fine. Then the next time we're on here, Jason will tell us about something that'll make us say, Waywut. Oh, and before we say bye on this,
Yes.
if there's any treasure hunting things out there that I am not aware of and you want to make me aware of it, please put it in any kind of comments. Because
More importantly, if you know where it
especially if
is.
it's close to where we live. If they know where it is, they're not going to put that. But I mean, if they're like, "Hey, Darrell, have you ever heard about old grimy Gus's hidden treasures? He never bought any soap and he saved all that money and buried it. So
It will just be us between us three.
yeah, so please comment, let us know, because I would like to treasure hunt, just not anywhere dangerous. So if it's deep in a cave or something,
Anywhere around us, and it's during the day, and it's easily visible. We're
somewhere I can
down.
search in the winter, because I also don't like snakes. I don't want to deal with
Yeah, and
rattlesnakes.
can be hot. It can be hot.
Yeah.
And
All right.
perfectly flat. No
Yeah.
hills.
Yeah.
Yeah, that should do it.
All right. Cool. Thank you.
Yeah. See you later.
All righty. Bye. Thank you for listening to Waywut. We really appreciate it. Remember that we post episodes every Tuesday and would love for you to rate us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or Pandora. If you are watching us on YouTube, throw us a comment, subscribe, and do all the other things that YouTube likes for you to do. You can stalk us on Facebook and X/Twitter with the handle Waywut Podcast. Once again, thank you for hanging out with us for a little bit, and join us next time when we'll get you to say, "Wait, what?"